this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
Things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter. I got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is a showdown nobody saw coming. Two stars from completely different worlds colliding in one ring. Both men are hungry to prove dominance, silence critics, and show who truly rules a fight game.
Night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once or twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime, and going into that and my body filling out, I just feel amazing. It feels super strong.
Jake Paul has been vocal about the intense training camp he's undergoing for his upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He claims his preparation is unlike anything he's done before, bringing in elite talent to sharpen his skills. Jake even boasts about dropping a few sparring partners along the way. This week, he revealed that Shakur Stevenson will be joining his camp to help him prepare for the showdown. In a rare moment of humility, Jake admitted that Tank Davis is a dangerous opponent. While critics often label Tank as too small to compete with bigger fighters, Jake refuses to underestimate him. He acknowledges that Tank's power is real, explosive in both hands, and that his short stature doesn't limit his danger. Admitting fear of stepping into the ring with Tank is a bold statement from Jake, showing genuine respect for Davis's knockout power and proving this fight is no gimmick.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off faster.
Many fans are unaware of the real story behind Gervonta "Tank" Davis's journey. From the early days of his career, Tank was testing himself against heavyweights, not just big men, but skilled, seasoned ones who knew how to control the ring. According to Showbiz, the boxing analyst, Tank didn't just survive those sessions. He dominated them. He punished bigger, stronger opponents who underestimated his speed, timing, and power. If Tank could handle heavyweights in sparring, then a cruiserweight like Jake Paul is unlikely to intimidate him. Jake may have size and reach, but Tank has already faced far greater challenges. Those sparring stories prove that Tank isn't new to facing towering obstacles. Showbiz further explained that the heavyweights Tank trained with were more technical and experienced than Jake. While Jake Paul has made remarkable progress, transitioning from influencer fame into legitimate boxing, he's still learning the deeper layers of the sport. His fundamentals are developing, but Tank has been fighting elite-level competition since his teenage years. Having survived and dominated bigger, more skilled fighters, Tank's experience neutralizes Jake's physical advantages. As Showbiz put it, this isn't a mismatch for Tank. If anything, it's Jake Paul who's walking into dangerous territory.
Bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. He's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie set back. This story of this guy seeing how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
What's the one boy name?
No, don't say name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. Like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. You might knock all that ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. When Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, just kind of letting him know. No, like, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Gervonta Tank Davis has made a firm decision about his future. He's done with 135 pounds. The weight cuts were too extreme, the drain too heavy. He wants a fight where his body feels strong and fully charged. Moving up to 140 pounds marks a new phase in his career, one driven by growth, maturity, and bigger ambitions. Tank believes this is where he can perform at his absolute best, with full power and sharper endurance. This shift also aligns with his upcoming showdown against Jake Paul. Once that fight is over, Tank plans to remain a full-time super lightweight, targeting the top names in the division. He's confident that by staying at 140, he'll not only maintain his strength, but also unleash even more destructive knockout power. While some fans argue that Jake's natural size gives him the advantage, Tank completely disagrees. He believes this is the weight where he feels fastest, healthiest, and deadliest. At 135, he already produced jaw-dropping knockouts, but now he's chasing show-stopping, career-defining power. The new division might transform Tank Davis into an even more dangerous version of himself, and Jake Paul could be the first to feel that difference.
Had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month, and that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at a higher weight classes.
Harmamel Martin shared a perspective, firmly backing Gervonta Tank Davis to win with ease. He explained that Tank's history of sparring heavyweights proves weight won't be an issue. Jake Paul's size advantage, he says, won't matter against Tank's superior intelligence and skill. In Carmamel's view, Tank is a master boxer, while Jake is still learning the craft. He predicts not just a victory for Tank, but a dominant one. Having seen Tank's relentless work ethic firsthand, Carmamel's insight carries real weight. As he put it, talent always beats size, and skill always outclasses strength.
Where's Jake Paul?
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so congrats to them.
What if you had it who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter. I got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweights, and even me, I spar heavyweights, So the weight's not really too much, for a lot of great fighters, so I feel like Tank will get it for sure.
I think he kind of be an advantage because he's small and fast. Someone said that. I'm I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. You're gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. He can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is gonna be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's gonna give him a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts because a lot of people think it's hard, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or what's going on?
I'm not. I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So, what do you gotta say about that? What's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. Floyd's gonna do his thing. Hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? What's next with you, Carmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, staying patient, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
When the fight was first announced, Shakur Stevenson stood among its harshest critics. He openly questioned why a world-class champion like Gervonta Tank Davis would choose to face a YouTuber-turned boxer instead of another elite professional. To Shakur, the matchup felt like an insult to the sport he's dedicated his life to mastering. But things have taken an unexpected turn. Reports now suggest that Jake Paul offered Shakur a lucrative deal to join his training camp, helping him prepare specifically for Davis's fighting style. The news has sparked controversy and confusion among fans. Analysts point out that if Shakur truly viewed the fight as a mockery, he would have avoided any association with it. Instead, once the right offer appeared, he decided to get involved. The same event he once dismissed as a circus is now one he's actively helping shape. Observers say the situation perfectly highlights how quickly opinions in boxing can shift when serious money enters the equation.
A lot of money to help him in camp. It's easy money to come spar somebody or whatever. Go get your money, right? But what's funny to me is for someone who had nothing positive to say about this fight, and someone who was critical of Tank Davis for taking this fight, and tried to shit on Tank Davis for taking this fight, he sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of it. He sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of the fight. And then to take that a step deeper and a step further, for someone who doesn't want to talk about Tank Davis anymore, he sure is making moves to ensure that he is continued to be mentioned with Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson is not stupid. The new firm that he hired to do his PR work and get him to do these interviews and try to enhance his brand, they not stupid. Jake Prince not stupid. Josh Dubin not stupid. The people around Shakur Stevenson have been building social media brands, building boxers, and building talent in different industries at the same time. I mean, for a long time. They know how this shit works. They not dumb. They know the conversation that is going to surround Shakur helping Jake Paul. Tank Davis' biggest rival going to camp to help Jake Paul. If Jake Paul has any kind of success in the fight, Jake Paul was successful because Shakur Stevenson is on a different level and he helped prepare Jake Paul for the fight with Tank. That's why Jake Paul did so good. They know this, bro. And to me, that's the problem that I always have with these guys like Shakur Stevenson. You can throw Lamont Roach in there. You can throw Devin Haney in there, bro. You can throw Keyshawn Davis in there if you want to. My issue is they won't admit what it is. And I guess it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing, because I get it, bro.
Offset offered a different angle, focusing on the physical dynamics of the fight. He believed Jake Paul's natural size and strength could give him a genuine shot at victory. The weight difference, Offset says, is undeniable, and if Jake lands a perfect punch, it could change everything. Still, he doesn't overlook Gervonta Tank Davis's extraordinary skill. Offset highlights how Tank can dodge counter and make opponents miss with surgical precision. While he slightly favors Jake because of the size factor, he admits Jake might struggle to land clean shots at all. To Offset, this matchup represents a thrilling battle between raw power and refined technique. A big, aggressive challenger taking on a smaller, but far more polished champion.
You saw Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
I don't understand how that's happening though.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake Paul does, right?
That nigga's 7'8". 6'7". I'm not saying 7'8". Like the nigga's
So what?
6'4".
So you think Jake wins?
Yes.
This is kind of like the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. And Mayweather, he got the better of Logan for sure. I think Logan's even bigger.
Then Jake? Fuck no.
Logan's bigger than Jake, yeah.
He
Like
is?
bigger, yeah. But Jake's now a more experienced boxer than probably Logan was at that time.
I don't know. That weight shit, man. That shit is a real thing.
What's the odds on that shit? I wonder.
It's
Not out yet?
Who do you think gonna win out of Canelo?
I don't really follow boxing like
Canelo, man. I like
Canelo?
I like my boy, but Canelo's just
Canelo's a beast.
He not old. He still got it. He hit hard as a motherfucker. And then like the fighters he fought and lost to was some dogs though. Like most people won't get in the ring with him, so it's like I feel like I don't know. Has he got this? I don't know. I feel like he gonna win though. What's that? What's the odds on that?
So there's Davis is minus 205 to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's plus 155.
Wow, that's tight odds. Tank Davis is minus 205. Jake Paul's 155 opening odds. Dude, that's crazy. I don't know.
Tank 5'2" though, but it's like he's so short.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying the height difference is
like,
crazy.
is Jake even gonna be able to hit him? Like, he's probably so fast. Tank's gonna be able to hit Jake.
He's short though.
Tank's gonna hit him a lot, right?
How tall is Tank? 5'7"? He's like 6'3". So different. That's
no, I know.
6'3" and big. Now technique, he got him in technique because he's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I gotta see that fight. That shit sound crazy.
You gamble on football? You sports bet?
Pay him a lot of money to that fight.
Oh, they're making so much money.
Analysts have pointed out that much of the criticism directed at Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't come from genuine concern for boxing. It comes from envy. They argue that jealousy has followed Davis since the start of his career and now. With the potential to earn an enormous payday from this fight, that envy has only grown stronger. Many of those criticizing him, analysts say, would jump at the same opportunity if it were offered to them. Instead of celebrating Davis's success, they choose to attack his choices. In truth, most of the negativity surrounding Tank stems from those wishing they were in his position.
Fire! I get the chance to pick a great business mind brain and help give him some game in the process. I'm down. Oh, we know you're down. So for one, you look like you hating on Tank, bro. Like you specifically. Two, this is the same guy that said he's not watching the fight, but now you're somewhat taking part in the fight because you're trying to gather or help prepare Jake Paul for the fight. And then this is what Shakur Stevenson does, in my opinion. Shakur will make questionable choices,
do certain things, right? And then afterwards, he'll be like, yeah, now that I got y'all attention, y'all, I got everybody mad at me. Bro, the stuff you're doing is weird. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, to me, it's almost close to like Karen behavior, in the sense that Karens, you see some of these Karens and they do all this extra stuff and then act like the victim. And I told you that's one of the main problems with Gen Z, right? Where Gen Z, they will do just weird things, make weird choices, make weird decisions, and then they'll act like, man, I'm Tupac, me against the world, everybody's against me. Everybody's not against you. You're just doing weird things. You're making weird decisions. It's weird behavior, so on and so forth. So let's ultimately recap. We got to do the boxing ego recap to see what's really going on here.
There's ongoing debate about the rumored payouts for this fight. Figures between $20 and $40 million seem reasonable to most analysts, but claims that both fighters could make nearly $200 million each have sparked skepticism. Many in the boxing world believe those numbers are exaggerated. Too good to be true. While the event is massive and global attention is undeniable, earning that kind of money in one night still feels unrealistic to many experts. For now, the true financial details remain impressive yet uncertain.
It says 150 to 200 mil.
That'd be the most any athletes ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay. Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
Yeah. 20 million, I would believe, not 200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model. So, and Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40 I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40 I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, you know, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting that 40.
Yeah.
But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he's a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist.
Mhm.
200 mil is just completely false.
Man, I mean,
Swipe. What it says? Swipe to read more. What else does it say?
No, there's nothing more. That was probably from the original.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more boxing updates, news, and fight breakdowns ahead.